to present our community honoree, who is Aziz Shaibani. Two colleagues of Dr. Shaibani will each focus on the community accomplishments and medical accomplishments of Dr. Shaibani. I'm going to turn the stage over first to Usama Makdisi, Professor of History and the first holder of the Arab American Educational Foundation Chair of Arab Studies at Rice University, and then to Dr. Michael Newmark, Chief of Neurology at St. Luke's Episcopal Hospital, Clinical Professor of Neurology at Baylor College of Medicine, and they will introduce Dr. Aziz Shaibani. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a warm welcome.
Good evening, everyone. It's truly a great honor for me to present Dr. Aziz Shaibani and to focus on his community service. I'm truly humbled because Dr. Aziz is, of course, the president of the Arab American Educational Foundation, and as we'll hear shortly, he is an extraordinary physician, a great scientist, an award-winning author, and Aziz, above all, is that rare thing in this room. He's a true and genuine Renaissance man. Aziz can talk passionately for anyone who knows him and intelligently about neuromuscular pathology, about art, about the placebo effect, about Marxism, about Tolstoy, about Ibn Khaldun, and he can do all this fluently in Arabic and English. As everyone here who knows Aziz can attest, Aziz embodies one thing. He embodies energy. He embodies passion. He reads voraciously. He debates. He's a doctor. He's an intellectual. He's a community activist. He thinks. He listens. And above all, he learns constantly. Because of his commitment to knowledge, Aziz is also an extraordinary teacher. In the true sense of the word, Aziz inspires. He does not hide who he is. One of his great qualities that I've come to appreciate over the years is how proud Aziz is to be an Iraqi and an Arab. He knows full well, and he wants everyone here to know, and everyone outside this room as well to know, just how much is rich, how much is valuable, how much is essential about Iraq and about the Arab world to which we all belong. Despite and because of the insidious geopolitics that plague the region, Aziz has worked for decades in this country to produce a better, a more intelligent, a more honest image of the Arab world and of Arab Americans. Rather than give up in the face of tragedy that has enveloped our American and Arab homelands, Aziz has been emboldened to represent the community in sharper and more visible and more productive ways. Aziz, after all, understands, as few of us, I think, do, what adversity means. He graduated with an MD from the University of Mosul in Iraq in 1983, during a time, of course, of war. He has fought against injustice, against tyranny. He has endured things. He has endured prison camps. He has crossed borders. He has undertaken surgeries without anesthesia. He has done all sorts of things. He has worked as a doctor in Syria, in Sweden, and after a very long and circuitous route that brought him together with his wonderful spouse, Arwa, in Syria, Aziz finally ended up here, thankfully, in Houston in 1995. Aziz has never simply been a doctor. Aziz has never been simply a doctor of the body, but in many ways he has become a minister to our community. In his time here, Aziz has served as the president of the National Arab American Medical Association, NAMA, in 2011. He has also served as the Arab American Cultural and Community Center, the ACC president, in 2004-2005. He is, as I've already mentioned, the president of the Arab American Educational Foundation. He is also a member of the Art of the Islamic Worlds Committee at the MFA here in Houston. And he is also on the advisory board of the Arab American National Museum of Detroit and he is a board member of the Rothko Chapel. So wherever you look, you will find Aziz. Now, Aziz's spirit of abundant community service, Aziz's extraordinary and abundant spirit of community service is shaped by his remarkable background. But great individuals, and Aziz truly is a great individual, build legacies that outlast them. And I think Aziz's most amazing, and I'm speaking here in a selfish way, of course, his most amazing community service has been his extraordinary campaign as the leader of the AAEF to endow the AAEF Chair in History at the University of Houston in 2015, which took an extraordinary amount of work on Aziz's part, and his ongoing efforts to help establish there a Center for Arab Studies as well. This follows, as we heard earlier, on the AAEF's previous success in establishing a chair at Rice University in 1997. So in large part, because of Aziz's spirit and energy and dedication against the doubters who thought that nothing more could be done, Houston, because of Aziz and all those who've helped Aziz, has become the one city in this country, in this entire country, which has 2 endowed chairs in 2 major universities dedicated to the teaching of the humanities and history of the Arab world. This brilliant achievement will grow and take on its own independent life, but it will always carry within it the legacy of the spirit of community service, which Aziz has personified so passionately, so selflessly, and with so much dignity. Dr. Aziz Shaibani, it's been an honor to introduce you, and we all should have a hand of applause for Dr. Aziz Shaibani.
I'm Mike Newmark, and it is my great pleasure to comment briefly on the rather substantial medical accomplishments of Aziz Shaibani. Aziz, in the area of neuromuscular disorders, is not only the local authority on this condition or the state authority on this, or even a national authority, but he is an international authority in the area of neuromuscular disorders. As an example, I have spoken at 2 continents, briefly visited a 3rd continent. Aziz has either spoken, presented in 6 continents in this world. The only continent, as far as I could tell, that he has not given a paper is Antarctica. But I fully expect in the next 2 to 3 years we will see his name there as well. Now, in addition to that, Aziz is an amazing educator and investigator in the area of neuromuscular disease. His neuromuscular seminar program conference for the last 4 or 5 years really sets the standard for neuroscience seminars. It's well attended and is attended by people throughout the state. I have heard him on a number of occasions give grand rounds, give presentations, and he is, for anyone who has ever been around, found him to be an amazing speaker. He also is an amazing investigator, and he's doing this only on his own initiative, sort of in the kind of classic tradition of practicing physicians who make observations and then report them. I come to mind Edward Jenner in smallpox, who was able to develop the vaccine for smallpox. Barry Marshall, who discovered that bacteria was the cause of gastric ulcers. Aziz has published extensively, tens and tens and tens of papers, one publication, New England Journal of Medicine, our Bible, and he's doing this by his own acute observation. Now, in addition, to his renowned reputation, his local reputation, in his great education and publication skills, Aziz is perhaps best renowned and perhaps most importantly is best known for his very caring and astute management of neuromuscular patients. He is the authority of neuromuscular disease here in Houston and in the region. He gets referrals from clinics, universities, to his Nerve and Muscle Center of Houston that he himself has established. He is just an amazing physician. So Aziz, we salute you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It is very humbling. Thank you, Dr. Newmark, for supporting me throughout these years. Thank you, Osama. Thank you all for attending this event to support your community. I know there are many people that are more deserving than me to get this prestigious award. Many people have been more prestigious. Many people have been more courageous and have done more than I did. But I'm very thrilled to receive this award. I would like to thank the ACC board who nominated me, and I would like to thank all of you for seeing the potentials in me. You all came to this country for different reasons, from different parts of the world, from different religions and different sects and ethnic groups. Some of you came here to pursue the American dream. Some of you fled war zones that were inflamed by American intervention. Nevertheless, you are here. All of you are Arab Americans. There are no liberal Democrats or Republican Arabs, Christian, Muslims, Shia, Sunni, Druze. You are all Arab Americans. You share the same rich heritage and history, and you are determined to advance your communities. After all, you all have funny names. All of you came here equipped with two things. Number one, the capacity to love. Number two, appreciation of education. I remember, as long as I remember I was a child, every time in the morning I saw a sign in our house said, خير الناس من نفع الناس, Hadith Sharif. The best of people is the one who serves the people more. And I would like to acknowledge my late parents for installing this capacity to love in me that guided me throughout all these difficult years. Also, our families, our parents have done the best to educate us and have had to go through difficulties just to pay for our education and to make us proud of our education. And that is another thing that makes all of you proud to be here without any debt. When I came here in 1991, I was busy with my education and until 1997. I went a couple of times to the ACC, attended a couple of activities. In 2002, after I became an American citizen, I went one time to the ACC, and then I saw Dr. Tuma, Dr. Saqar, Hatem Saqar, and other board members asking for new board members, and I raised my hand. After 2 months, Ahmad Abdullah called me on a Saturday morning. He said, "You are accepted to the board." When I went to the ACC, I found it to be an excellent third space there are three spaces: home, work, and a third space where you practice what you love for the community or sports. I found the ACC to be a space that provides a safe space for people to convene and dialogue so that they remain relevant. Thank you very much, Dr. Hatem, Dr. Samir Touma, Muhammad Salhout, Jamal, Ahmed Yassin, all of you for seeing the potentials in me. Thank you for giving me the forum to serve the community. If there's anyone to be thanked for this, that would be the ACC and its founders and its leadership. May I ask the founders and all those who were board members during my presidency, please to stand up. Would you please stand up? I know. Please give them a big applause. I know Annan, I know Dr. Ajuz, Annan Qaddoumi, Dr. Ashqar, Dr. Rizq Saqar, Ibrahim, I know Dr. Ghusn and Amal Abdullah. You are, and Jamal and Manal, and also Mrs. Ayub. So I think, and Ahmed Yassin, I think these guys and Dr. Touma, you really have shaped the narrative of diversity. You have made the ACC as a place for contemplation and action, and you touched the lives of so many people throughout the years. I am a much better person in your presence and with your support. When it comes to education, I would like to thank my home country, Iraq, for providing the education to me from the elementary school until I became a full physician, and I worked there for a year without paying a penny. I came here with no debt. I came here with love, capacity to love, and the education. Nevertheless, we are all here. All of you obviously have made very big success. Many of you are on their way to succeed. And I think we should appreciate the opportunity that was given to us in order to produce and to be ourselves. The ACC, after all, is a tax-deductible organization. You are using the tax money of the American people to advance your causes and the American causes. And that should be also appreciated. And you should use this capacity to improve your community and to make America better. There are millions of Americans who share your mission and feel your pain and need your support for a better America. All of us have dreams and we share same values. I would like you to appreciate education not only by obtaining degrees, but by telling your stories. Every one of you, each one of you has a story to tell. And these are very often very inspiring stories that you share with the other million of Americans' stories. A few months ago, Arwa, my wife, suggested that we do a contest for novels, Arab American immigrants who write novels. And we received about 40, and thank you, Faiza and Rand and everyone participated in collecting these novels. We could not read more than 5 novels a day because of the deep emotional impact that these expressions of these kids reflected, the tortuous way, the thousands of miles they crossed in order to reach here. And I'm glad that 3 novels have won these awards, and we plan to write these novels in a small book so people will learn about us. We were inspired and moved by these stories, and we'll do it again. Also, I would like to have the staff, we have a table here for the staff from McNamara School. Ustad Tawfiq Al-Ashqar has basically, with all the group, have been teaching our students and have been listening to their stories. I'm sure these kids have felt better, and you felt enriched by listening to these stories. I want you to always never stop telling your stories. If you don't tell your stories, your history will be reduced into a disputed history. Your truth will be a disputed truth. Your dreams will be disputed. Palestine will be a disputed territory, and Jerusalem will be a disputed place. And you all will be reduced to a very distorted form of La ilaha illallah and Allahu Akbar. So it is very important that you tell your stories by your dedication to good causes and become an agent for positive change wherever you are. You know, your humanity is measured by how much you care for others. And we are doing it. I mean, how many organizations we have here that are contributing to the good causes? There are so many of you. Where is Zina Al-Muhtasib? She is the president, the younger president. Would you stand up, Zina? Zina is the younger president of the Arab American Medical Association. She's an ophthalmologist. We have so many members here. Dr. Touma established with other people this organization several years ago, and this is one of the organizations that we are proud of. If you look at the Syrian Club, Mr. Barazi and his groups several years ago have raised money to establish a club to provide services to the Syrian people, to the refugees, an Arabic school. This is a tremendous task. Thank you very much, Bassam, and thank you very much for all the Syrian friends who contributed to this heavy task. We have the Palestinian Arabic Center, we have the Druze group, we have the Egyptian Medical Society, we have many other Arab American societies who are doing just that, trying to serve their communities and try to advance their causes. Also, we are a small community. We only can make a big change if you connect with the American communities and organizations with the same purpose. I would like to greet here the Executive Director of the Rothko Chapel, Mr. David Leslie, who basically is here because he is supporting our community, and we need to connect to the Rothko Chapel, which fights for human rights and for spirituality. Also, Mrs. Salhout is a board member in the Rothko Chapel. She introduced me to the Rothko Chapel, and I'm very proud to be a member of Rothko Chapel. We have the museum that supports the art of the Islamic world. It introduces your history in a different fashion than when you see in the TV. There are so many things that the Muslims and Arabs have done to the humanity that are not focused on. The opposite, as a matter of fact, is what you see. As Osama said, what I'm proud of mostly is the Arab American Educational Foundation. The Arab American Educational Foundation has two chairs that take your story and teach it to the academicians. Just last week, they had a symposium, was attended from all around the world to tell people about the anti-sectarian traditions in the Arab world. Anti-sectarian traditions. We have a big history of anti-sectarian. Don't keep talking about sectarianism. And we have a table here of people, a table with Sinan and the other. Would you stand up, all of you, please, from the University of Houston and Rice University. These are graduate students. These are American graduate students who are going to take your stories to all the states and establish chairs and centers to tell your story to the Americans. What a great mission. I would really like to thank Professor Takriti and Professor Maqdisi for enhancing the intellectual and academic life in Houston and for bringing all these good endeavors. So ladies and gentlemen, you know, human causes are all connected. My life is turned poor when I see a child with no access to health care or a good school, or when I see a child whose father died in the war, or when I see a Syrian child who did not attend the school for several years because of the war, or when I see an Iraqi child in the Iraqi streets who is addicted on drugs because of the current chaos in Iraq. These are all painful, and these are all should be stimulating us to work for a better world. Each of you gives me strength just by the way you face challenges and you try to quest for a good future. I am inspired by an Iraqi doctor who works as a taxi driver during daytime and tries to prepare for his medical examination during nighttime so he will go and have a chance to be a physician in this country. My life is much richer by learning from most of your stories. You know, an immigrant life is never an easy life, and it is always difficult to find your way in this country and anywhere you go. I'm very inspired by an Arab family that opens its doors to hurricane victims, or to an American family that opens its door to a Syrian refugee. I'm very inspired by a financially inspired man who has a big sense of community and vision and sense of social responsibility, who bailed out, paid the debt of the ACC. That's Mr. Farouk Shami, who's our friend, who never says no. When you go to Mr. Farouk Shami, he never says no. He's always there to help. Other people also, like Mr. Nijad Faris and Isa Cook, who supported our foundation by $500,000. I would like to thank Palestine for keeping alive the values of Palestine has kept the values of determination, resistance, and liberation in us over the years. And Palestine is our mother that has the power of mobilizing and unifying us. And any struggle is secondary compared to the Palestinian struggle for their freedom and dignity, because that's the most obvious metaphor in the world. I'm very honored to be honored today, and the theme is Syrian heritage. Syria has given the humanity a lot. Syria has given me a lot. I have lived and witnessed the generosity of the Syrians. Syria has given me one of its best daughters, Arwa Shaibani. Thank you, Arwa, for being so full of compassion and for having the biggest heart in the world, for supporting me when there are many years I only arrived home to sleep. I was busy either working or doing community work. Thank you very much, Arwa, for all that you have done and for your wisdom and for your compassion. Also, I would like to thank Sinan, Ahmed, and Rami for being without me for a long time under the care of Arwa, to a degree that Arwa can use them against me anytime. The Syrians have 8,000 years to share of contributions to the humanity, and I'm sure that 7 or 8 years of hostilities will not affect that kind of contribution and that kind of unity among the Syrians. Continue to do a good work, never get used to violence and to vulgar disparity of life around you. Respect strength, but never power. Your strength is in your dreams and your vision and your determination to improve your communities. Progress is not a straight path, and it does not happen without struggle. Use everything you can to advance your causes. Use your mind when your mind speaks higher. Use your heart when your heart speaks higher. And use your wallets when your wallets speak higher. Despite the frustration, the future is ours. The determination in the eyes of our youth makes me hopeful. However, there's always a good tomorrow only if you work for it. We are greater than the sum of our individual ambitions. Never stop fighting for what is right, because even a dead fish goes with the flow. Bring together new generations with old generations. Bring youth to your life and your circles. Pay attention to crucial issues and be active agent for your society to advance it. Finally, I would like to dedicate the award today to Zahrat al-Madain, ila al-Quds. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerusalem is central to your faith, whether you are Muslim, Christian, or a Jew. No one can cancel your rights to your history, your geography, and your faith. And arrogance of power never lasts. It takes a lot of work. I'm going to end by reading a small poem from Muzaffar Nawab, decades ago, which is still alive today. القدس عروس عروبتكم. أهلا أهلا القدس عروس عروبتكم. فلماذا أدخلتم كل زنات الليل إلى حجرتها ووقفتم تسترقون السمع وراء الأبواب لصرخات بكارتها وسحبتم كل خناجركم وتنافختم شرفاً وصرختم فيها أن تسكت صونا للعرض؟ فما أشرفكم أولاد القحبة، هل تسكت مغتصبة؟ فما أقدركم أولاد قراد الخيل، فما أوقحكم أولاد قراد الخيل، هل أنتم عربة؟ I am very proud to be with this community and thank you again and we'll see you next year.